This episode started very vague yet deep and serious, serious. So let's like hard pivot into a fun topic.
I'll tell you what I but like I when those mermaids documentaries came out on Discovery.
Jesus Christ.
Have you ever been victimized by new age spirituality?
We've been we've been waiting for you. We've been waiting.
You're gonna want to listen up.
I'm Megan, an intuitive life coach and Reiki master.
I'm Ryan, a professional astrologer, and we want to show you what spirituality is by talking about what it is not.
Con artist,
Yes,
snake oil salesman.
there are so many susceptible people out there.
And then they're tainted, they're ruined. They don't want to come back to spirituality.
We still have a lot to learn, and we will humble ourselves and learn, I think, every freaking day. This is Clairannoyance.
A podcast of spiritual interference.
A second serendipity episode in a row, everybody. I was actually thinking, let's just like keep it blunt. We don't really have a plan, which is the point of serendipity episodes. But like, no, we really don't. And I think that this is good though.
I don't think anybody has a plan lately. Anybody who has like a foolproof plan. I just got back from one of my wild child retreat, and there ain't the best plan is no plan, but to have kind of a plan, like have some options with your plan. But is that really a plan? I don't know.
Well, when we introduced the Serendipity Sessions as a new series all the way back,
Yeah.
I think that was like episode 15. We said, sometimes we're just going to throw the plan out the window, which is honestly what had to happen today. Today we should be recording the June astrology forecast, but Ryan is not ready at all. I am, but I'm not. And I'm just not organized enough for that to be a good episode for you guys. So
Should is a silly word. Should is
right.
What? Get that out of here.
Well, and I'm justifying this. Like I was like, I don't like the idea of doing two serendipity episodes in a row, though. But
I do.
Well, I know, and that's like kind of the point. It's like that's what the series was kind of created for. Is like sometimes it's just shit's like that's is going to happen. But also the last serendipity episode, really thinking about it, wasn't as serendipitous as normal because I had a lot of stuff to talk about, and it was a pretty centered topic. It was
Yeah,
like
so it
Jupiter and
wasn't
Gemini
very
and opposites and stuff. So
yeah.
you had no idea what I was bringing up. So it was like halfway serendipitous at least, which
Yeah.
also fit the theme, like opposing things. I was informed, you were not. But anyway, so this is a true serendipity for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's been going on?
So much fucking shit. So much fucking shit, man. So much. And it's just like, it's really rough because I feel like there's a lot that is so in flux. It's like I have some plans now, like I really do, but at the same time, universe likes to throw its curveballs, and I'm trying really, really, really hard to just like not.
You're really having to practice the law of detachment and just being like,
Yes.
you know what? You know what I can trust? Myself. And that, I'm going to be okay no matter what. But it's there are a lot of endings. There are a lot of endings taking place right now, or wrapping up loose ties. I checked the full moon because today, as we record, is the full moon in Sagittarius. It is May 23rd as of this recording. This will be coming out a few weeks later. But I was like, let me see what house this is transiting. I think it was transiting my 12th house. And so it was like, say goodbye and receive the blessings. I'm like, fuck. It's just that state of flux. It just seems to be universal. It's like your past is nipping at you, or like you can't see what's in front of you, so you have to trust yourself, universe, spirit, God, whatever you believe in, and just like as you're stepping, you're hoping that each stone in front of you is illuminated. And if it's not, it's like, oh, I'm stepping and it's on a rock. I'm still here. And then it's like, oh, I'm stepping. Am I going to plunge into depth and despair? Nope.
Yeah.
I'm still here. But it's very, very, very unsettling energy to have a plan, but not have a plan, and not be attached to the plan. And am I working towards the plan? But should I be? And I don't know if it's going to work out. But am I manifesting this?
Yeah. When am I on like steady ground? When do I stop hop, skipping, and jumping everywhere? And then to not Like I feel like I can't really like update many people on like what lies ahead right now, not only because everything just feels like there's such flux, but I just feel like what's the point until I know what's happening? I just feel like I can't really tell many people what's happening right now, you know.
Correct.
It's just
It's
hard. This is so vague, but like I mean that's kind of the thing. It's funny though because like I did say like May, and it really is May 25th onward, which by the time this comes out, that will have passed. But like that's really when Jupiter getting into Gemini, there's going to be a lot of fucking new movement, new directions, new energies, blah blah blah.
and your
And
son's
and
in
I'm feeling it.
Gemini.
Like it's
Yeah.
happening. So like there is new stuff coming in. It's just still swirling around and scattered. And I'm just like, fuck, 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 fuck. Like what the hell? And I think it's hard the moving forward and the g- trying to like knowing I can't really visualize or picture like what is this new life and beginning that's I don't know
Yeah.
what it is because it's totally new, but also um the departure is the hard thing for damn sure. The letting go of the I don't even want to call it a comfort zone, even though it is, I know, but it's just like I just like don't want the current circumstances to end, but they're ending, you know?
Yeah.
It just sucks.
It resonates so much. And before we got on, Ryan was like, "Listen, because my moon is in Gemini," and he was like, "You need to cool your tits, sister, and not not overwhelm yourself with projects because you're going to be anxiety central." So I was looking at the last time that Jupiter was in Gemini, and it was 2012, 2013, and that's when I became an energy healer. You know, that's when I was like, universe, send me a teacher. Like if I'm an energy healer, kind of talking shit. And then Chandler walked into my bar, and then I was in massage school. And I was so curious, but also I had this nostalgia for the past. And I missed my party girl persona, but I was so excited about where I was going. And I was just in flux, and I feel the exact same way. And it was so wild to reconcile. It's like this is going to be another one of those beautiful motherfuckers of a year where I'm like, oh yes, no, ow, okay, why, all right, and it's just like it to be in between lives and in between worlds and what's right. Your brain's telling you one thing because your brain wants to keep you comfortable. Your brain will always choose that necessary hell or that known hell
Mhm.
than an unknown future. But a little bit ago, a few weeks ago, we were talking, and you've got an influx of very new, very exciting, very interesting, creative, powerful people that are about to pop into your world. And what you said resonated because you were like, it when you're around people who are doing bigger things than you, it motivates you to do more with yourself. And I think as this
Mhm.
potential chapter closes for you, and also if we're talking me too, because I'm going through a lot in my personal life,
Mhm.
whatever closes for us, like it's gonna be good. It's gonna
I
be
know
great.
you gotta really have that trust that like no matter how much you like it, you have to think like what it's closing for a reason, and it's got to be because what's coming next promises something better. I have to think that I'm gonna look back and be like, yeah, I'm in such a better space. Oh, I'm so happy with like
I
everything. And I see
truly
the
believe
potential.
that.
I see the
Yeah.
potential. It's just I don't know. Like it's just like I don't feel it. It's a whole new, completely fundamentally new situation. Like I'm even thinking like the only other way I can really compare it is like when I left Illinois to move to Vegas, like back in 2011. But it's not even I had interned in Vegas for 2 years prior to that, like over winter breaks. Like I knew what I was getting into a little bit. Like moving
Mhm.
to Vegas still was a big move, and there was still some uncertainty with it for sure. But like it just this new situation is so new and so big. And I'm just like, man, is this right? And is this gonna work? And
What is right though, and that's the thing. It's like coming back to, I can't tell you how many times I quote the great Victoria Therese where I'm like, everything's neutral. Everything's
Mhm.
neutral. It's, morality is neutral. So and the beautiful thing is that it's not the only thing that's permanent is babies. If you have one of those, can't get, can't, if you have a baby, that's a serious, serious thing, and death. So everything else, it's like you can come back from everything else, like, and procrastination and not making a decision, it keeps you in a very interesting hell. And so because what's happening with everyone is you have your brain talking, and we know where your brain wants to keep you, your heart talking. Sometimes you can trust your heart, sometimes you can. But if your heart's broken or sad, it's going to want to choose that comfort. And then you have your intuition and your soul, and so it's like you have these three different dialogues going on, and who are you going to trust? Who's speaking louder? And just because someone's speaking louder doesn't mean it's right, you know. So what's your body saying? Your body is a tool for the subconscious. And when you ask yourself a question, and when your body bleh, or like, oh, or you get uncomfortable, then you probably should not be going in that direction.
Mhm.
So, but to start anew and to start anew in anything, it's brave, but it's fucking scary. God, is it fucking scary? And we're going through very different things right now, but equally terrified. We were both looking at each other like, you know what? You got this. You, you got this. Yeah. So if this, I know, like I said, I was with 12 women this past weekend, and every one of them was like, holy fuck. And, so we're not alone in these sentiments. Not that, it makes it any better, but heavy, heavy,
Heavy,
heavy.
heavy, heavy, but I gotta trust it'll be lighter too. There's so much Taurus energy right now, which is literally so stuck. And it's just a stubborn ass energy, but it's like a fuck ton is literally about to. The sun's already in Gemini right now, but we're like Venus, Mercury, Jupiter, like everything's about to go into Gemini and move a lot quicker, feel a lot lighter.
Whoa.
Really got to trust that that's like where this is going, and that by the time listeners are hearing this, things we're not feeling the same as we are right now while we're recording.
hmm So just action, people, action. And that's the thing too. Actions, just words are who people want to be. Actions are who they are. So
Mhm.
yeah, I have so many people who are like listening to words, and I'm like, do you hear what this motherfucker is saying? And do you see what they're doing? These like not on the same wavelength, me amigos. Choppity chop. It's got to go. I
And
know.
oh God, I have such like I can't even call it butterflies in my stomach. It's like
You just okay. So you remember, anxiety and excitement are on the same. So like, I'm so excited. I'm so
no,
excited
it's
every
true.
time. You just have to keep saying that. And even
Yeah.
if you're not excited, like I'm about 8 weeks out from my next fitness competition, and I was on the call with my posing coach, and I was like, I'm just tired. Like I'm exhausted. I'm like, why am I doing this? Do I want to do this? And it's like you just got to keep saying like I'm so excited. And then as you're doing some maintenance work, what happened? I'm like, should I be doing this? I get 3 pairs of glittery magical heels. They're gonna match my glittery magical bikini, and all like for that would normally be $600. I got them for 100. Three, please, 3 for 100. Give me a break. So you just got to take signs like that, You just got to take signs like that.
Signs from the universe. They, oh, they have been showing up, but it's like at the fucking nick of time. It's not like giving me any heads up or good like ability to ease into fucking anything, feel confident about anything. It's just like whoop that way now. Okay, go. Like it's
Yeah.
just fucking annoying.
No lube.
Fuck. No, man. Like God. Ooh,
Yeah, but it keeps you on your toes. Yeah, it
I'm
keeps you
sick of it.
ready. Well, yeah. I mean, you can try and put that call up on a higher. You can try and escalate that call to the manager if you like, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I kind of like the answer. I read this. I'm in the first process of listening to this book. I think it's called "It's E Squared" by Pam Grout, and it's like
Oh, I have
seven.
that book.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
So the first exercise is like, tell the universe that like you're like, show me a miracle, show me a blessing within the next 48 hours, but give it a deadline. And then, you can't be specific. And you also have to be like, out and about and doing things. So, maybe in the spirit of things right now, on this auspicious day, show me a miracle in the next 48 hours, please. I always like to say please because I'm a polite person, like demanding something, especially. But like, yes, I've been saying I find money. I'm like, yes, and more. Like something happens, good. Yes, thank you, and more. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of fuckery. At this time, I'm going back to my habits. Like that's why it's important to have a solid habits. Like because as one is terrified, I'm like, I got this. No problem. I'm totally cool. I am so cool and calm, and not a wee bit nervous whatsoever. I'm excited. I am super excited. Don't mind me as I freak the fuck out over here. I'm good.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. God, I don't really feel like I've ever had such. Oh, I don't know. And I'm a Gemini, it rules the wind. Like I know how to move freely, quickly, pivot, blah. But like I always feel like I've got something that it's like, well, I know I can like do this. I know that I've got this going right now. Like I don't know. Right now I feel like there's nothing that I've got. Everything is up for like renegotiation at this current point in time. That's the shitty thing. There's like no stability at the moment.
Yeah, like, well, that's having that faith. You're just gonna keep.
Jesus Christ.
I
I know.
I know.
Ah.
Yeah, you know what though? We're gonna come back. We're gonna listen to this in like 6 months, a year. Be like, remember that time when Jupiter moves into Cancer in a year, and we're having this like, wow, really look at what what Jupiter and Gemini did. Expansion. Good luck, blessings. Let's make it. Here we go. Woo.
I know, yeah. And I'm as much as I'm like, okay, I'm seeing all the potential of what lies ahead. I am. It's funny you said 6 months because I had a conversation, like an old friend came in town yesterday and I got to meet up with her for a quick coffee. And I was telling her about some of this stuff. And I was like, Jupiter moving into Gemini, I'm like, I've been preaching how excited I am about it since last year. Of course, I got so many planets in Gemini. But if I'm really looking at this and being smart and not letting myself get swept off of my feet and whatever, right? Like saying non-attachment. Just astrologically, all my planets in the vast majority of placements are in the second half of the sign. So mathematically, literally, it's like the Jupiter crossing over all my Gemini placements isn't going to happen exactly until top of 2025, maybe at the very end of 2024. So basically, I got 6 months still, but Jupiter is a very fertile planet, basically. Like it kind of rules like germination and spreading the seed. So there is like, it feels like, okay, cool. I got another 6 months of keep going, Ryan, keep going, keep it 6 more fucking months before I can reap the rewards. But that's sort of the thing. It's like the rewards, like they're there. Like I definitely see what can happen, but it does require me to be like planting those seeds for the next 6 months, right? But also the energy is lighter. Like I can still Jupiter moving into Gemini, even though it's not crossing over my planets exactly for the next 6 months, it's still fucking in my sign. I got so much Gemini energy. It's still beautiful, wonderful things can happen in the next 6 months. Absolutely. I just think that like the real serious benefits are going to still be 6 months from now. So it's funny you said that.
Well, get that garden hoe out and start germinating your life. Start making it happen.
I know. It's funny you also say that because I posted on our Instagram um a little like haiku or something that somebody had written that was like intending to my garden of life, like it's just as much about pulling out the weeds as it is about planting the seeds. So it's like that now feels like it fits
Yeah.
too. It's like, damn, I gotta, not that I view like, I don't know, maybe some things in my life right now are weeds and I don't want to view them that way, but
I know. It's like I love this weed.
I
But yeah,
know.
dandelions are weeds, aren't they? Look how
Yeah.
beneficial they are.
Yeah. Nutritious.
I know. Trust me. I know, and I know we're not alone, but
No,
it
we're
doesn't
not.
make it any easier, just because someone else is moving through it doesn't mean it's easier for anybody. But
Mhm.
I'll tell you, being an adult is hard. Like, this is
Over it. Do not recommend at all. Where's the return?
adulthood in your chart.
Can I
The
please
return
take
of
it back?
childhood.
Can I please take it back? But that's also a funny thing too that I've been thinking about. You're saying some really interesting things that literally like just in the past couple of days I've been having these like revelations about. One of the things that's like been helping me in this whatever we're calling this is just thinking about the like inner child Ryan. I hate these fucking words, but literally, like I'm a Gemini is a childlike sign. There's all this like youthful, fun energy coming in. Truthfully, I would say as a like advice to anybody with
Yeah.
Jupiter going into Gemini is like try and tap into like a more playful spirit and enjoy life a little more, like as best as you can. It's like you're gonna get more rewarded if you can find ways to be like happy and just lighter. And so I was trying to like think about that, and I just was thinking about like it's like daunting as some things are at the moment and uncertain and blah blah. This option feels like something like Lil Ryan would be like, shut the fuck up. You're really like, really? You know what I mean? Like, so proud of
Yeah.
myself in a sense. Like, right now, I'm like fucking freaking out, but like,
Yeah, because listen, it's cool. I mean, like when you take away your emotional investment and the fear that you have right now, and you take and zoom out, the opportunity that you were just given is fucking insane. And the thing is that you care about obviously, your life and yourself, but also you want to make sure that you benefit other parties involved. So
mm-hmm.
because you just got blessed with a motherfuck of a blessing and when I say motherfuck, I mean like whoa, whoa, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't happen often. So when
No,
that,
it doesn't.
no. So it's so zoom out, like if you and just zoom out and lean in. I mean, that's really, when your brain starts going and starts panicking. I was listening to this realtor out of Atlanta that I love. Her name's Glenda Baker. She's on TikTok and she says that like says every day, she's like, my name is Glenda Baker and I get the my life is so amazing and I get the most amazing this and I get the most, and just like she went on this like southern rampage, which I loved. And I was like, that's what it is. So when like fears and negative thinking don't manifest in my reality, my name is Megan Lund. The most amazing things happen to me. The most incredible opportunities. I am so grateful. And you gotta talk yourself into this new reality, like
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise your emotions will talk you right out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Mm-hmm.
and it's you're worth it. Like what's happening to you, it's amazingly scary. And of course the brain isn't gonna go to what could go wrong. And that's where you have to be like,
Always.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
my
that's how
brain
we're
is like
programmed.
yeah, I am definitely like catastrophizing right now, which there's some
Yeah.
quote that's like catastrophizing is the like worst use of your imagination. I forget
Yeah.
who said it or what that is, but like it is. It's true and I know it. I know it, but my brain is defaulting to those things. I think it's like I don't know. I don't know. There's like very high risk and high reward, I think, on the horizon. And I think I don't know, I think I'm just still like how I want to like sort of speed up the process of like releasing this life I've known, that's really coming to a close and like this whole new thing happening.
I know, but you have to be able to like mourn it and like say goodbye. And that's what's happening,
I know.
And I trust yeah, so you have to be present with it and be like, thank you, and say goodbye to the bits and pieces and the bookshelf and the,
Yeah.
like, and the location and,
Mhm.
are who's coming with you? I think that's the hardest part. As anytime I've stepped into a new evolution of my life, which I've done 2 to 3 tours here since 2011, it's like, who's coming with me and
That's
who's
it. That's
not?
it. And I don't know. And I don't know that I will know until I get where I'm going, basically. So I guess listeners, you now know there's like a move on the very near horizon for Ryan. I won't say where though. But it's definitely not what you think. It's not like it's not far. It's
So
honestly, it's not far. It's just kind of like behind me actually. But yeah, yeah. I don't know who. I don't think I will know who is there. I know who awaits a bit, but like I don't know who's coming, and I won't know until I'm there, I
yeah,
think. I and I think
all
like I
day.
yeah, I think I have to like kind of get rid of like, there are many things about the current life that have caused me problems and I just like wish could be fixed. And I think maybe they just can't be. And so the mourning this current life, letting it go, whatever, is also not just letting go of the good things, which there are plenty, but like the bad things too, you know? And I have
Hmm.
to think it's just because like what lies ahead is full of new opportunity and stuff, but like also new challenges, new problems could absolutely arise. And like I need space to be able to work through any new problems. And if I'm dealing with the old problems, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
have the time, you know? I need to like really clean slate this.
Nostalgia is a seductive liar. It'll keep you hijacked in a spot that you've outgrown, and it'll keep you just spinning your wheels. I mean, and you've been ready for this, but you've also been spinning your wheels, And
Oh
so it's
yeah.
like, so yeah, I think it's always the people part and
Yeah.
when you get plucked, when your life gets, I mean, you get literally plucked from your life and set into a completely new reality.
Yeah.
It's the wildest feeling because you're like, oh my God, everything is alive in your body because you're, like, whereas you might have not have, if you walk the same route every day to your coffee shop, if I told you, hey, if I asked like, hey, what happened 3 days ago on that coffee route, you wouldn't remember because that's the same way you go. But now, like time is going to go by at a very interesting pace because your sensor, your all your sensory organs are going to be opened and you can only process 50 to 100 bits of sensory information per second, but there's, I think, 10 million bits per second. So your brain is going to be like, whatever is programmed is going to be like, yeah, this is what is necessary to fit your your programming in life, your description. And your brain will always protect your ego. So if you don't think you're worth something and then you see someone else getting it, it's like, oh, well, they have mom and dad's money. Or,
Hmm.
if someone were to know what's going on with you, it'd be like, oh,
Hmm.
well, of course, Ryan is in LA. He's an astrologer. He has those connections. Instead of saying, no, Ryan busted his ass.
Oh, holy shit. Yeah, people do not know.
No, so it's just the bravest thing that you can do right now, and this is a generality for everyone, is just to keep moving forward. I don't care if it's 1% a day, but the worst thing you can do is be in the same spot that you were last year. And that's where our brains want to stay, baby. I know what to expect. I'm comfortable here. You may be miserable, but you know what's up.
Hmm.
So, sayonara, Ryan's life.
I know.
I have a similar, I know we're speaking in such ambiguity, but it's like, da, da,
I
da.
know. And like it won't always be this way. People will be updated on things. It's just I gotta land somewhere first, right?
But right now, yeah, we have to protect the process, and that's okay, guys, too. If you tell everybody every nook and cranny of what you're doing, you've got to protect the process of your
Hmm.
life because the only person
Hmm.
who's really going to protect you is you at the end of the day.
Damn fucking straight. God damn it. That is so true. Yep. Yep, that's so fucking true. Fuck, man. You know, one thing that's really interesting too about a lot of like what's happening is I get like I feel like this is like my version of psychic energy, is like
Uh-huh.
I visualize like a feeling. Like I get a feeling about what's happening, but like I see it in a weird way in my head. Like it's abnormal. I don't know how to I don't know how to explain it. But like right now it seemed like the way we're talking about it, I feel like somebody could easily think of this as like it's a rebirth, like Ryan's being born again, into like this whole new
It
life or whatever.
is.
And I get that, but it doesn't actually feel that way. And the visual that I keep getting isn't like, oh, I'm being reborn or something. It's like I feel like I am still me, which is an interesting thing, very much, but that I am like I don't know the I don't know that anybody's gonna get this reference unless you like watch the TV show or read the books or whatever, but I feel like I'm like now becoming an anamorph or like I'm realizing like, oh, there's like I don't want to even call it a superpower. That's not what it is, but it feels like I'm growing another limb or I'm growing like wings, like to be like cliche about it. But like it literally feels like I'm
Hmm.
like acquiring this new like I'm still me, but there's something like literally coming out of me and attaching on to me that's like just making
I
me
feel
a
like you're getting
bigger person.
you're getting repotted. Like if you were a plant and you like and all of a sudden you were busting out of your little pot and now you're getting repotted into a bigger pot and it takes some time to get your roots back in and get everything going, make sure some limbs might fall off or something, but a little twig damage, but you'll be fine. And that's what, like, because you're still the same you, like, and so it's just like you're getting repotted, so I don't know what anamorph is, but
Animorph was like the like it was almost like a like when we were little, like kind of Power Rangers-ish, where it's like a group of like high schoolers and they all could like literally like realize they could like morph into animals and then they would like save the day or whatever. I feel like I'm getting that, like it's not a superpower, but I feel like my literal like physical self, when I just visualize it, it just feels like I am literally like changing and like literally adding on a new layer or appendage, or there's just a bigger, more emboldened version of me happening
yeah,
rather than like a reborn energy. It's not like it just doesn't feel that way. And the repotting is true. That's true. But I feel
yeah,
like it's the repotting is happening because of this like extra limb that's coming out of me now or
yes,
something. Like
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. You gotta blow this popsicle stand. Like it's time to move, literally,
Fuck, it's so
figuratively,
crazy.
and it really is.
Yeah.
And it's okay, like when you're in between those two spots, it's just I've started to just like call out the emotion I'm feeling, like anger, sadness, uncertainty, fear, because otherwise your bullshit like men's like makes a big globus gross ball and then it's just like tortures you. It shape shifts and it's like, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. It's like if like you just had something in your ear, like, hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. It's like, whoa, get away from me. I've been singing
Yeah.
Yin Yang Twins all weekend.
Oh God.
Wait till you see this.
Oh my
It'd be so
God.
terrifying if you had a whisper. It was the Yin Yang Twins. Just
My
be so
God.
awful. I know because I literally went behind everyone this weekend and did that in their ear and they all jumped. I know. It's what I just, no one was safe. It was fun.
Uh,
90s, late 90s, early 2000, nasty rap till I die. And when I say nasty rap, just like nasty lyrics, not that it's nasty. I mean, the lyrics
Miss
are.
Jackson, if you're
Mm.
nasty.
Oh, you're taking back early 90s, 91.
Yeah.
Rhythm Nation, baby.
Um, that like I thought Rhythm Nation would be. Did you see Apple Music put out their top 100 albums?
No, what was
I,
on there?
it was Control was the Janet album that I forget,
Whoa.
which I'm like, okay, sure, but like I really figured it'd be like Rhythm Nation or like the Velvet Rope, like hello, like
I love
together
if.
again.
Oh my God.
I
when that
know.
song came out, boy, watch out. I mean, I would go to the jukebox, play it over and over again if I'm at a bar. Like, fuck all you guys. This
Great.
jam.
Yeah. They like, I won't spoil the list for everybody, but there was definitely like a couple things missing. Like there was no Mariah, there was no Whitney. Like
What?
there was just some weird shit going on for sure.
What
That
are
list was
y'all listening
fucking
to? Who doesn't know? You know, like maybe certain Whitney Houston songs come on the radio if I'm listening, or you'll hear them somewhere and you're like, damn, I forgot this jam. And
no.
so, you know, like, and then you'll be like, oh, she had this one. Oh, she had this one.
Hmm. You know, this episode started very vague yet deep and serious. Serious. So let's like hard pivot into
All
a fun
right.
topic. Thank God. We're going somewhere
Mhm.
fun. I think it's like a much lighter topic that I have found like kind of interesting lately that I was like, ooh, maybe
Mhm.
this would be a good like deep dive like topic, but I don't think so. I think it's like just a little segment in a serendipity. Um, is basically and kind of to transition from the last heavier topic is I'm definitely in that space of like trying to not let myself get swept up in anything or take, I don't know, e- expect much, you know.
Mhm.
I don't have the right words without saying what I'm going to say. And so basically, like the word that I was thinking about, especially like astrologically, I'm thinking about like Gemini energy in general. And this was me for a very long time. And it kind of still is sometimes, but in dumb ways, is the word gullible. And that is like interesting, like, and it gets actually weirdly interesting, but like I was like, oh, gullible, like that's such an interesting energy, and it is very Gemini, and I have always been a gullible person. Like people can tell me something and I'll be like, shut up, and like think it's true. Like I just am so gullible, like I really 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 am, but and I'm really trying in a serious way, like whatever the serious version of gullible is, I'm trying to not let that happen to me. Like I don't want anybody to like overpromise me anything right now and me believe it. Like I can't. I'm not letting it happen, you know? So I was just looking up
Yeah.
gullible and it's really interesting, dude. So let me just say this. The World Economic Forum had a global risks survey that they surveyed 1,400 experts, okay? Policymakers and industry leaders, okay? They ranked misinformation and disinformation as the number one global risk over the next 2 years, ahead of war, ahead of environmental problems, ahead of threats of AI. If you're susceptible to misinformation or disinformation, that means you're a gullible fucking person. So
Yeah.
gullibility is act seriously bad right now. Like it's not okay.
Yeah.
It's the fake news stuff. It's the media literacy stuff. It's like all of that. And like when I looked up like what, you know, causes gullibility, like why are people gullible or whatever. Let me just make sure I'm getting this phrase right. I'm Googling it right now. See, serendipity. Um, it is, how do you know you're being duped? It's called basically deception blindness. That's really like what it is. Like you don't know when you're being deceived, which is really interesting. And that's like heavy, I guess. But when I looked
Yeah.
at this World Economic Forum, which is a big deal, like that's a fucking like this is not like a gullibility is literally like basically the number one threat to the world right now. It's interesting. They say as polarization grows and technological risks remain unchecked, quote unquote, truth will come under pressure. Societal polarization features among the top risks that are both current and over the next 2 years, whatever. Uh, Oh
Ooh.
yeah, and then it says, okay, societal polarization and economic downturn are seen as the most interconnected and therefore influential risks in the global risks network, I guess. But like your gullibility, your ability to believe in misinformation and disinformation is so much higher right now because of the uncertainty of the economy, which is one of the really big other things, right? Or just like how split we are as a country. These opposing sides like we talked about in the
Yeah.
last episode, and it makes people more susceptible to things like conspiracy theories and shit, right? Propaganda, So how do you know to see through this stuff? I've got a couple really cool things. First, let me like say a couple that are like annoying. I like have just been saving these as like I think we should just talk about conspiracy theories sometimes as like here's a conspiracy theory I've seen lately pop up, you know? So like I have a
Mhm.
couple of them. We don't need to talk about all of them, but one of the craziest ones is Ryan Garcia, the boxer or MMA fighter or some I don't know what he is, but he's like kind of been like a quote unquote whistleblower lately, like trying to talk about how like he was in the woods once and saw like celebrities eating babies, basically, like that kind of like wild energy. And people are like, he's in the Illuminati and I don't know, all this crazy shit. He was just on some podcast. I just saw this saying on June 6th, some crazy stuff, an earthquake, a big, massive earthquake is going to happen in Las Vegas and Los Angeles. Conspiracy theory. And everybody, you look at these comments on this shit, and everybody's like, he's like so like true. Like everybody needs to pay attention to what he's saying. Like he's always speaking truth to the crazy shit that like Hollywood is dealing with some crazy shit right now, right? But like he didn't call it out specifically, like that stuff
Yeah.
before. Even he was talking about eating babies and shit. But like I'm like, come on, okay. June 6th is gonna come by, and then what? And nothing happens, and then what? Are we going to start discrediting him? You know, here's another. This one's fucking nuts. I'm going to try and I will link these TikToks if they're still up, the videos. I will link these videos in the show notes. So I'll link the Ryan Garcia one where he's bringing up this earthquake, apparently. But then also, I don't know who said this. I can't remember the video, but basically, there's a huge conspiracy theory. The comments of the amount of fucking people who literally think this is true is insane. That there are tunnels, secret tunnels in the Grand Canyon that go to Africa,
What?
that we can get to Africa from the
What?
Grand Canyon. Bitch, what is
What?
wrong with people right now? Like literally what's wrong? This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is more practical in a sense, but like it's still like annoying. It kind of just shows the like how normalized this gullibility is and people like just not having the common sense and discernment or whatever is the idea of like ghost jobs, which is where it's true. Like a lot of there's like the job market is nuts. Like when you look, there's a billion jobs open, but nobody can get a fucking job. And so there's this thing happening of ghost jobs. And there's that tons of conspiracy
Wow.
theories about why. I will link the ghost jobs video in the show notes as well. So you can just go look through and see like all the crazy conspiracy theories that people have of like why companies are posting jobs, but not actually hiring for them. The only one that like I've heard consistently for quite a while now is that like, it's some sort of, and I don't know this, I don't know this to be true, but like, that there's stipulations in like from the PPP loans, like you must hire a certain amount of people or something, or like there's something like that where like they got money and so they have to like show that they're expanding or whatever. And so, but they're not really like hiring people. But it is weird. There's like HR people are not really saying like why this is happening. Like that, it's kind of strange. But the conspiracy theories surrounding it are fucking stupid. People are just fucking nuts right now. It's just nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
That
and
is
people just falling for
interesting.
these conspiracy theories. Everybody's like, whoa, like, I can't believe this is happening. And it's like, what? Nobody, all this is unfounded. Nobody has any evidence or proof of any of this shit. There's no tunnel to Africa from the Grand Canyon. You don't think anybody would have known about this by, like, people are in the Grand Canyon every day. Like, what are you talking about?
You know what? What about that? There was that like new sea that was discovered by scientists. I forget, like,
Oh, like on another, in
like
the earth.
yeah, and
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they're
the
like,
ocean.
see, told you, there's an ocean underneath the ocean, and
But
then
even then, it's like, it's not a real fucking ocean. It's just like, it's
but
like,
that's where that came from. But yeah, realistically speaking, this is where they're flat earthers. If you think that if you can get to Africa from the
yep.
Grand Canyon, Africa. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Well, and did you see
no.
the Terrence Howard stuff? Terrence
I
Howard
was
on Joe Rogan?
just thinking about that when he like woke up and he was like, you know, in his mom's womb and then went back to sleep and then a little bit later and then like that was his
He's
first.
built a time machine, apparently. He literally says he has a time machine that he's built.
I only
Excuse
heard
me?
I gotta go listen to the whole thing. I have only saw clips. You know, he's an interesting character.
He is a very interesting character, but he is certifiably kind of wild. Like, I mean, I don't want to
I
diagnose
can
him,
get down
but
with you waking up in your mom's womb. I can okay, I can see that. But a time machine. I mean,
yeah.
are you gonna go back to? I don't even.
I'm not going to
wanna
link another podcast below in the show notes, but just if you really want to see some crazy stuff, go look at Terrence Howard or look up clips or highlights,
on
like
Joe
whatever,
Rogan. Yeah.
on Joe Rogan. It's literally wild. But what's wild to me, and it relates to all this, is the amount of people who believe him. I have seen so many just average Joes creating videos about did you see the Terrence Howard thing? He's on another wavelength. Like we all need to be thinking like him. They're literally saying that he's invented a new physics, that our periodic table of elements is wrong. And he has a new version that is real science. The only place I can find, I literally every time I see a video, I just open comments and I try to find anybody who's like, this dude is nuts. Can never find it, except if it's a video of a physicist who's like, let me debunk this. This guy is literally so wrong. We need to be able, you don't need to believe in every scientific thing, but I really believe that if we can prove something to be not true, that's very fucking important. Okay. So if we can prove what he's saying to be not real, that's important.
Yeah, but I saw this TikTok of this girl, and she says she was joking later on. No way she's joking because she got so much backlash, but she was eating a cucumber and she was like, why don't we have pickled cucumbers?
Oh, I saw that.
And so this really cute black girl came back, stitched it, was like, we have found the children, and we have reading levels I just learned that they are not, when you learned how to read, you sounded out words, right? Yeah, they stopped doing that. And so they are apparently a lot of schools, and probably in the South, because we don't really rate that high on the educational system, are just passing them through without. So there are people graduating high school who have the reading comprehension of, a third grader.
Yeah. Literacy is really, really downhill. I did actually, interestingly, look up some stats on that recently too. It has gone downhill. We're back to where it was in I think it was 1977 was basically where we're at right now. That may not be 100% correct, but it's something like that, literally. It's really downhill. And that literacy, right? To not be literate, the ramifications of that is gonna
huge.
absolutely.
Well, what does it contribute to? Gullibility.
And your ability to believe misinformation. You're gonna have deception, blindness, bitch. Brain rot, the new phrase that everybody likes to use, brain rot. That's also what it is. If you're not really fucking finessing your brain right now, which Gemini rules the mind. It's also why I'm kind of bringing this up. It's timely right now with the astrological energies. Gemini can be incredibly gullible. It's it is a sponge for information, but Gemini is raw perception. It comes before the feelings, before the I'm going to apply something meaningful to this. Really, it just perceives. Okay. So perceive, that's interesting. Huh. Let me look into that further or something. What the fuck? Don't just believe everything that you hear.
I'll tell you what, when those mermaids documentaries came out on Discovery, 10 years ago, right around this time, Gemini. Oh my God. It happened in Jupiter and Gemini. Those were in those fucking mermaid documentaries. And I only watched a little bit at the beginning. I called my mom and she will never let me live this down. And so I always vowed after this moment that I will look into things, investigate, see all sides, and critically, because to this day, she will mercilessly tease me on this. She's a Libra. Yeah. See, you raised by a Libra, you're gonna have some tough skin, people. It's balancing
Let's balance
scales.
this out. Yep.
She was, wildly amused. I mean, this happened. And to this day, she'll be like, we'll be around the table. She'll be like, hey, and I'm like, shut up, shut your cute little mouth. And she'll be like, and at that moment, the second I started getting teased about it by her, and I can't blame her, but I was like, I will never again. Just willy-nilly fall
Yeah.
for something. But fuck you, Discovery Channel. Like you
Why
were
is
supposed
this?
to be a beacon. You were supposed to be a real channel of animals and things like that. Not putting out, that's probably where the fake news revolution started. It's right
Yeah.
there.
Like
The
literally what
Discovery
is
Channel.
happening here? Like literally what is happening? The and Gemini it's open-minded. So it's gonna be like, oh, like what is that? Like,
I was so stoked. Are you kidding me? There's a
yeah.
mermaid down the street in Beaufort, South Carolina, at Paris Island, which is a marine, and they're guarding it. They found mermaid remains with the whales and this and that. I'm like, makes sense to me. So some of us, I mean, the way they explained it, some people went into the water, and then you evolve. Look, we came from cavemen. Okay, you evolve over time. Some of the people went into the water. Of course, they're going to get gills. Duh.
Jesus Christ. It's just,
And listen, Julie Lund does not there's not a time I see her that she's not like, guess what? And I'm humbled on the regular.
I can't like even recall something like so huge that I was like, wow, I really believed that. Like that's some crazy conspiracy theory or whatever. But like, I mean, and I love a conspiracy theory because I like to stretch my brain. I will be open-minded about all sorts of
Yes.
things.
Yes.
But if I don't understand, like if I don't see this, or I need some proof. I'm not just going to take somebody's word for everything, especially if it's something like far-fetched and way beyond the reality that we currently know. Like I'm gonna fucking fact check a little bit. Gemini's gonna want to do that too. Like I know if you're
Important.
evolved Gemini, a funny, like harmless way of this. Gemini's a jokester, so this is like you can trick people in a good, lighthearted way. Okay. Have you seen the
Mhm.
galvanized steel like
Yeah.
thing? There's like a trend of like boys like basically like duping their girlfriends to like show how gullible they are. Like I think this is like so spot on. And I found this literally yesterday, like before, like way after I was already thinking about the gullible topic. There's this trend of guys like filming their girlfriends, and I guess there's like some video showing like what galvanized steel is, and the boy will be like, okay, so our bedroom window right here, like basically they're using galvanized steel, and it's going to be able to push out like our whole window here, and they'll be on like the fifth story of a building or something, and they're like, yeah, it's going to like push this window out for like a whole 10 feet, and we're basically just going to add a room on right here. And these girls are like watching these videos, like just showing a room just like extend out to nowhere with no support. And he's like, yeah, well, it's galvanized steel. And then they've got like, there's a couple other like words. I'm going to link a video below, a galvanized steel video of this girl getting like horribly duped. And it's just so funny to watch like the gullibility of it, but it's harmless. Like nobody's like, her brain chemistry is not going to be altered. You're not convincing her that the earth is flat.
Women are doing this prank on there's a filter with on TikTok where it puts your eyes apart. And
Oh,
so
yeah. That's perfect. Yes. Perfect
and all
example.
these guys are like, they start to tell whatever story. She's like, babe, tell them about the road rage. They
Dude,
look at themselves and they're
I'm
like, oh my God, do I like they're looking at a real mirror, they're looking at the phone. Yeah.
I'm writing that down because I'm going to try and find a video of that too. Okay. So you guys can see some like really wild conspiracy theories and how bad it can be to be gullible. But these are a couple like really funny ones where gullibility is just like a joke. It's a laughable, funny
I
matter.
love playing little jokes on people, and I'll, like, and vice versa. That's what. But I'm a little prankster at heart.
Me too.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. So
Now, two really quick, like kind of antidotes here. We gotta wrap this shit up, bitches. But like to this gullibility, one is the first one that I just kind of came up with. I was really thinking about this because I'm like, Gemini is inquisitive. It's gonna ask questions. Like that's a good Gemini. Be skeptical,
yeah.
ask
Mhm.
questions. And I was like, what questions can I get to? Like when I'm rabbit holing, like which I
Yeah.
do all the time. You gotta come back to a place of like your center, right? So like the
Yeah.
questions that I thought of, like what brings me back to my center when I am like really like getting swept away by some topic
Mhm.
is how is this helpful? That's one of them. How is this helpful though? That I think immediately snaps me back into my body. Like whether it's true or not at that point, if it's that far fetched, if it's not helpful, if I'm not finding a way that knowledge is helpful, then I'm gonna immediately stop rabbit holing on that topic because what the
Mm-hmm.
fuck's the point? The other one is what can I do about this? If I can't do fucking anything about
Yeah.
galvanized steel, then okay, like then you tell me all about galvanized steel. I don't like those two questions for me. I was like really thinking about it. How is this helpful and what can I do about this? They feel like they immediately like snap me back into my body and then I focus on what is important.
Yeah.
The other thing that's actually like a legit thing, I just found this and I think this is like actually amazing, is uh it's called ground news. Um their kind of tagline is get every perspective on every story. I downloaded the app, but I'm like, for some reason I'm like ground.news, I think is the website. Um I'm like, is that let
That's
me just double check. I
interesting.
have the yeah, that is it. Okay, thank God. I had the app and now I'm like, was that like autocorrect or something? Yeah, ground news. Okay,
Ground
ground.news.
news.
There's an app.
Mm-hmm.
It literally, I don't know logistically how they're doing it. It's on the website. I just haven't had a chance to look into it enough, but I know that this is incredibly valid. Like I've
Mm-hmm.
fact checked the efficacy of this. They
Yeah.
literally, you see every side of every news story. They literally like scan
Ooh.
fucking everything so you can read the news and get headlines. Like they will rewrite headlines so that it is unbiased. It
So
is
it's
like,
super new, just like I've been saying that if
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
if you take go look at, so they've taken the hard work out for you of having
Yes.
to listen to CNN, Fox News, and then deciphering. Beautiful. What a lovely tool.
Yes, and they've got little like bars on there like that show like is this left leaning, is this right leaning? Like there's a lot of really interesting information in every news
Fantastic.
article. So like go use ground news. Like I mean, I'm still an advocate for like get all sorts of different perspectives,
Yes.
read various headlines, but like that is an incredibly neutral one that I think is I'm like, how is nobody talking about this? Like this is actually seriously amazing.
Because
So
they'd have to expand their biases. They'd have to
yeah,
expand
but
their
like
perspectives.
you don't got to be worried about being gullible with this outlet. Okay.
Yeah.
So when in doubt, look it up on ground news.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Let us know. I'm gonna download
Yeah.
that right now.
Yeah. It's really, really cool. Seriously. And with that,
So I say, well, good luck with your life.
I know, seriously, Jesus Christ. If you're dealing with some like very big serious things, please do not be too gullible right now about like
God, no. And
you
you know
gotta
what?
stay grounded. Ground news. That's what it is. Like
Yeah,
grounded
guys.
news.
Yeah, you did it. You did it. You made it. You have a full circle. Full circle. And just know that it's going to be okay. But if you don't have to rush into a choice, like don't let anybody rush you. Sometimes life is going to rush you and that's okay. But go with your intuition. Okay. Like what is the best move?
Yeah.
Like,
And
and so,
logic.
yeah, use a little,
You know?
intuition, but like, yeah, don't fall for your bullshit, and if you don't
No.
trust yourself, then ask people who genuinely care about you until you can get your intuition back online, because that's something I've
Yeah.
seen that's pretty frightening.
Yeah. Find unbiased people.
Yes, your trusted cohorts.
Hmm.
Okay, like I've got a few where I'm like, am I, because I've been, I get so like worried that someone's gonna hurt me. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking cut you before you cut me, and then I'll like to Mary Dell or to so people are like, am I overreacting? Am I taking this too far? And they're like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna just sit on this, let this emotion pass before I go straight samurai sword on your ass. Yeah. So ground people, ground,
Hmm. Hmm.
and let us know. Comment, follow us on Instagram. Email us if you need to. Our winners for our contest
Giveaway.
giveaway. Those have been let know. That didn't make sense. Those have been
Those have
notified.
been
Let
no.
know.
Yeah.
Those people have been let
I know.
know.
Technically, we were actually late on like picking the winners. There were just so many of you. No, we like we did like literally right before we hit record. Megan like watched me like
Mhm.
truthfully pick these winners. So I feel bad because I think on the last episode it was we had said like you should. If you haven't been notified, then that means you didn't win. So now
What
I'm
a
like,
nice
oh, no,
surprise.
we just haven't notified anybody yet.
What a nice surprise, because now you're like, oh, I didn't win. Psych, I did.
Now that we've officially had a chance to pick them, we will be notifying people. And by the time this is out, truthfully, the winners will have been notified.
So yeah, we love you. Follow our personal Instagrams, TikToks. Follow Clairvoyance. Message us if you need us. Book with us.
Book us
And
up.
stay tuned, because boy, is life about to get butt crazy wild.
Mhm. The next
God.
episode will be the June forecast, which there's some really cool stuff happening.
Next
Thank God.
episode. Yeah. All right. Well, I love you.
Love you. Thank you, everybody.
Doo-doo.